As you know, in Bangladesh, more than 80% of our foreign earnings comes from the ready-made garments, and buyers all across the world were very quick to enforce force majeure and get out of the contracts. They reflect on that for us a little bit.
Yes, actually, the start of the pandemic and more so in the year 2020, we have seen a lot of these cross-border contracts being cancelled by the buyers, and they try to rely on the force majeure clause. Although, personally, if you ask me, I do not think that they should have been allowed or they should be allowed to raise such clauses, because obviously the performance of the contract from the liability for non-performance, there has to be a causal link to the force majeure event. Okay, so for example, if I contract with you to supply X number of goods, and I should not be allowed to rely upon the force majeure clause to say that I do not want the goods, okay, because it does not affect my performance. On the other hand, the Bangladeshi supplier can say that, no, this is a force majeure event, or everything is in lockdown, we cannot perform the contract, for example. They can rely upon it. But for the foreign buyers, when they relied on force majeure clause, to me, it was like trying to escape from their contractual obligation just because the financial world or the world has gone into a financial dip. Now, it's a different thing that they may not be able to sell it onwards after buying it from the Bangladeshi exporters because of the lockdown or the pandemic, because the sales have gone down. But that is a separate issue altogether. That does not concern the contractual parties. And to me, that is not an acceptable plea of force majeure. And here the problem was that most of these contracts are one-sided. When negotiating, obviously due to bargaining power, the foreign buyers usually give us a template, and the Bangladeshi exporters are obviously, they have very little say to negotiate that contract, because most of these multinational, this is our standard contract, has been reviewed by our legal department, and we can't change much. And obviously, with the Bangladeshi exporters, in an attempt to get the business, it obviously does not go into the fine print and just signs whatever is being given by them. In most cases I've seen in the supply contracts, either the dispute resolution clause is missing, or if there is a dispute resolution clause, the Bangladeshi exporters have sometimes agreed to a foreign dispute resolution. So just agreeing to a foreign venue would entail them to take the flight to Singapore or wherever the dispute resolution forum is chosen, and then have that dispute arbitrated. And many of these Bangladeshi exporters just don't have that flexibility, financial capacity to do that, to test against these giants, because the outcome is uncertain. What I've seen is that these Bangladeshi exporters either tried to negotiate their way through an amicable settlement. Also, they were quite apprehensive that maybe in future they will not get the required orders from these buyers if they go on a fight with it. So I've seen a whole lot of things in practice, and all I have to say is that time has come to actually negotiate contracts. Time has come to actually read the fine print and not just sign whatever standard contracts are given to you.